IT Expo Miami 2009.
Hi everyone. Welcome to Internet Telephony Conference and Expo. We're very excited. This is our 10th year of putting on this event. It's amazing to see how the event has grown and how some of the technologies that we cover have evolved over the past 10 years. One of those technologies, which is all the buzz and is certainly one of the most talked about technologies, is unified communications. When I started in this industry, there was something called unified messaging, and that was the year of unified messaging. I think 1998 was the year of unified messaging. And we're still waiting, I think. And perhaps we're not waiting any longer, actually. And that's what this esteemed panel is going to help us decipher. They're going to get up here and they're going to pitch their solutions, their unified communication solutions. What we're going to do is the format is going to be each presenter will have 6 minutes to get up here and tell you why their solution is better than any other solution on the market. What makes them special? What differentiates them from the competition? So I'm not going to keep them waiting much longer, but first I'll just run down the panel. Rick Chin, from my left to my right. Rick is the Solutions Marketing Manager with Interactive Intelligence. Next is John Doyle. John is the VP of Business Development at Communicate Systems. Next to John is Serge Hippolyte, Director of Product Management at Aspect Software. Then we have Nick Matichuk, Vice President of Business Development and Strategic Alliances in Object World. And on the end is Tony Robzinski, Director of Strategic Enterprise Technologies at Nortel. So please join me in welcoming Rick Chin. And Rick, you have 6 minutes once you get going.
Thank you very much. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about our primary product, Customer Interaction Center, and its strengths in the unified communications market. It has all of what most people would expect are the traditional unified communications features, which would be voicemail, unified inbox for faxing, and those kind of things. We add to that, and some people would consider this part of unified communications too, a chat, instant message ability. Since our product started development in 1994 and its initial release in 1997, it's always had presence management and awareness to it. And so that's a very big driving factor in our product, is that it knows how to deliver a message to someone because at its core, presence is part of everything we do. Remote accessibility for us is a huge factor, so we really enable remote workforces, mobile workers, and distributed call centers. So we have to be able to deliver our messages to wherever somebody is through that functionality and let everyone know who's available at any given time. We have built-in voice conferencing, virtually unlimited on ad hoc, and then if you add our conferencing server part, all the extensive features of actually setting up calls and conferencing in advance. We have probably what would be considered the strongest Microsoft OCS integration in the industry, even surprising Microsoft at the level that we were able to integrate that product into our product. And our software clients handling the unified communications portion exist on the desktop, on the browser, on a mobile phone, several mobile phones as a matter of fact, and then of course a telephone user interface. The browser one in particular is very compelling because it allows you to literally have somebody from anywhere logged into the system, able to manage the system, see their unified communication status. The biggest differentiator in our product is this concept of the difference between being purchased or acquisition together versus designed together. Since we've kind of homegrown and organically designed our applications to work together, they seamlessly work together and integrate together in a way that's very difficult to do if you put different pieces together through acquisition. So you can certainly purchase a PBX, you can purchase an IVR, you can purchase a voicemail, faxes, tie those all together. You might have multiple administration points for those. Maybe as the product grows, you try to tie those together and make it more of a single administration. From the very get-go, our product is single user interface, single point of administration, regardless of how many sites you distribute it across. It makes it easy for you to take a PBX. It automatically has, of course, the standard voicemail, fax, instant messaging either through our own instant message client inside or OCS's, and that includes adding OCS's video ability into it as well. And of course, conferencing. As we get further down the road, because it's an all-in-one product, it makes us easy to add things in that are more sophisticated applications that help unified communication, like, and we'll talk about this in a little bit, CBPA, and other advanced applications like maybe you want to survey your customers. Let's talk about some of the key benefits. We already talked about our all-in-one platform. Our open standards and interoperability means that our software-based solution will tie in with anything you've got. You can use whatever phones you want. You can use whatever gateways you have. You don't have to rip and replace with us. You can add us into whatever you've got. If you need to extend unified communications to your platform because you're trying to make that next step to a voice over IP-based platform, you can add us on, and you can migrate as time and budget allows. We have a very, very comprehensive integration into other products like headsets, workforce management packages, back-end office applications like SQL, CRM, ERP, and so we give you the databases, all kinds of web services. So the flexibility to add the features on that you need today and then to go to the future, wherever that might take you, and at whatever pace it takes you. We also, and so that's a big feature to us, is that you can integrate whenever you want. We're software-based, so you just turn on a new feature with a license code when you're ready for it, when your budget allows. You can choose which system provides the best solution for you. So if you have mixed systems and maybe some other vendor provides a better solution for you now in your current environment, you can keep using it. It's not a problem for us. But in the meantime, if you decide that you need something more advanced, you can migrate to that. And it's very simple to do because you're just turning on a license code, and that feature now suddenly appears across all your desktops, all of your mobile phones, all of your web clients. So you can deploy at your own pace. Lastly, you get higher value from our unified communication because where we're going with this is a new thing called CBPA, Communications-Based Process Automation. The unified communication has a great value, but it tends to have a soft ROI. We are going to introduce communications-based process automation that will allow you to generate a hard ROI by automating all kinds of business processes through your unified communications-based system. So you will be able to, it's not really like other telecom solutions. It's not reactive. It actually manages the entire process. So today, CIC offers the best unified communications because of our feature-rich applications and all-in-one platform design. You have extreme flexibility to integrate and deploy at your own pace because of our open standards foundation. As you go on tomorrow, communications-based process automation will help you streamline your workflow processes and automate key activities to eliminate latency caused by human interactions. Come to booth 518, see some of our live demos. Thank you.
Timing. That's perfect timing, ladies and gentlemen. 6 minutes on the nose. Next, and I hope you're writing down some questions for our panelists because there's going to be time for a Q&A at the end as well. So think of your questions, and we'll ask them when we're done with the speakers. Next up is John Doyle, VP of Business Development at Communicate Systems. Please welcome John.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to be very brief. I have one slide, and then I'll show you actually what unified communications looks like with a flash movie. So what's special about Communicate Pro is that it's complete. I often find unified communications is talked about a lot, but it's very rare that you find a complete solution. What I mean there is that you'll find bits and pieces of unified communications where you'll see IPPX vendors saying, well, we're selling UC to bolt onto this vendor, or Microsoft will bolt onto our colleagues at Nortel, or vice versa. It's never really a complete package. Communicate Pro has both the server and the client, so it is a complete package for typically a small office hosted by one of our ISPs or carriers around the world. So like a Verizon business will use our platform to host to you as a small office with a complete package, meaning that you don't have to go out and get different pieces from different vendors. So everybody has a list of features. You can see here that the list is pretty comprehensive. I won't read off every bullet, but it includes everything around groupware, messaging, voice, ability to plug in applications or tie into other things that are out there that you may have in the premise or not, or you want to have. Also, one thing that we're very proud about is the cross-platform capability, which I'll show you in this Flash movie. We use Flash for our client technology, so it looks the same whether you're using Mac or PC or even Linux. So with that, maybe we could start the Flash movie so you can take a look at what we have to show. Voila.
Pronto is a unified communications interface that brings together a suite of integrated applications such as email, voice, video, instant messaging, music, photos, news, calendar, contacts, and much more. Upon login, users will experience a powerful yet elegant application interface and design with features like drag and drop, resizing, minimizing windows, alerts, and no page refreshing. With Pronto, users feel as though they're working in a desktop-like environment. View your missed calls, incoming calls, and outgoing calls. Listen to voicemail with the click of the mouse. In addition to the core communication features you'd expect, Pronto is also packed with rich media modules that enable users to store and manage personal videos, photos, music, blogs, a website, and much more. Users can even watch their video and listen to their music from within Pronto using intuitive player functions and common features you would expect from media management software. Pronto enables powerful value-added services like high-definition video delivery for professional or user-generated content to any desktop. Service providers can tap into a variety of media sources, leveraging the Adobe Flash Media Server or content delivery networks. Enterprises can deliver training and marketing content with Pronto's flexible and powerful modular framework. Activities like sharing photos and video, setting up a conference bridge with your co-workers, using the voice over IP dialer with floating examples, managing voice preferences like call forwarding, do not disturb, call screening, and more. Scheduling a group meeting, and even reading the news of your choice. Modules can be removed and replaced by other applications, such as music services and games for value-added service. The only limit is your imagination. Pronto can be customized to the service provider needs to drive branding and differentiate service offerings. Pronto is a powerful business unified communications client. It supports the Adobe Air environment and brings you advanced features like drag and drop from the desktop, HTML rendering, and multi-session windows outside the browser. Yet Pronto for Air still works on any operating system. Business users can use Pronto wherever they are and can always grab their email, calendar, and files with over-the-air synchronization to mobile handsets like the iPhone. These features and applications, plus so many more, are brilliantly integrated at the core in an intuitive and intelligent application design.
So close.
So close. So as you see, I like to say we do every kind of communication except smoke signals. So come by and see me.
Great. Thanks, John. Next up is Serge Hippolyte, Director of Product Management at Aspects Software.
Thank you very much, and thanks everybody for joining us in wonderful Miami Beach today. Just happens to be my home. I'll talk to you about unified communications, but not just from the perspective of the technology, but from the perspective of what it means for your business. One of the key reasons why people are looking at unified communications today is their customers are driving them there. They're asking for rapid access, first call resolution. And if you think about today's contact centers, which is the technology and the solutions that we offer today primarily for the contact centers, these contact center solutions do a great job, but oftentimes when a user needs to reach into the enterprise without unified communications, that's not necessarily intuitive to do. So unified communications can make a big difference for your business. In fact, Aspect Software is one of the market leaders in this industry. In fact, we pioneered most of the technology in this industry. We created the very first ACD technology that's used in the industry. the very first dialing technology in the industry, and one of the first unified platforms in the industry. Of course, we argue often with interactive intelligence as to who started the unified technology stream earlier. But if you look at these benefits, they're tangible benefits that many of our over 6,000 customers worldwide are experiencing today. And in fact, we swallow our own medicine. We use our technology and unified communications within our own enterprise for over 2,000 employees. So I'll show you a little bit of a difference and a demonstration of what it means. But if you look at what businesses are struggling with today, I know all of you, all of us, are struggling with the increasingly difficult economy. And how do you drive more efficiency in your business? How do you drive more productivity in your business? Unified communications can be a big differentiator in enabling you to do that. But we believe that unified communications done the right way will help you to achieve that. Unified communications done in the old integration model will just add to your costs as a business. So the benefits and the power of unified communications is really greater collaboration, not only between your customers and your contact center, but your customers and the sales reps, the field representatives that they may have met and bought from, your employees internally within your enterprise, and your broader partner network. So the benefits are real. Now, when I talked about the fact that it can't be done and it should not be done on fragmented technologies, one of the key things that you should see is what contact centers are dealing with today when they buy point solutions. The picture on the right is a picture of a typical legacy architecture. In fact, some of you may nod your heads that this is your contact center. You have a different technology for your ACD, dialer, IVR, and others. We believe that that cost structure in your business is really killing your business. It's killing your business and stopping your business from achieving the potential ROI that you can with unified solutions and unified communications. We believe the future is UC applications. So with that, let's cue up the video.
The next communications wave is here, and it has people at its core. From the way you work and the way you work with others, to the way you interact with your customers and manage your business processes, unified communications has the potential to change everything. Aspect and Microsoft have invested in the future of unified communications and in each other. Backed by 3 decades of experience with communications enabling business processes, Aspect is helping companies accelerate their communications with the power of software. Meet Jim and Stephen. They've been competing for new business from JB Financial for months. Stephen is not in his office when JB Financial leaves a message. Unfortunately, his office phone and his mobile device are not connected. Jim is also out of his office, but thanks to unified messaging, he gets the JB Financial message in seconds, so he can start lining things up right away.
Hi Jim, it's Candace. We'd like to schedule your final presentation in 2 days.
He quickly arranges a team meeting to tighten up their final proposal. Once Jim returns to his hotel, he's ready to collaborate with his colleagues on completing the pitch for JB Financial. From finalizing the graphics for the prototype to confirming and fine-tuning the pricing, their presentation is quickly ready to go. The next day, Stephen is back in his office, still trying to schedule a meeting with his team. Right on schedule, Jim and his team are confidently making their case to JB Financial. Candace tells Jim that the business is theirs as long as they can have the kiosks in store by the end of the month. Jim assures her that they can and closes the deal. To make good on his promise, Jim works through obstacles to guarantee end-of-the-month delivery. And thanks to the fact that his company's business processes are communications enabled, he does. As for Stephen, well, he's lost another opportunity. JB Financial's virtual financier is delivered, giving their contact center brokers a public face. And thanks to unified communications in the contact center, their virtual broker is backed by a team of experts who are able to respond to the customer's very specific requests. The customer loves the product. In fact, she even shares her experience through online communities. Soon, a groundswell of consumer conversations provide Jim's company with insight on how to make virtual financier even better, which gives Jim a better product to sell. Aspect and Microsoft provide all the unified communications capabilities you need by unifying voice, email, multimedia conferencing, instant messaging, and contact center applications using rich presence. Aspect can help transform your enterprise.
So definitely, we believe so much in this, in the power of this. I told you we use it internally. We also invite you to join us in any of our worldwide contact centers. And in fact, there's actually a virtual launch of Microsoft's OCS R2, one of the key technologies leveraged as part of our broader unified communication solutions that's happening this week. So we definitely invite you to do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Next up is Tony Robzinski, Director of Strategic Enterprise Technologies at Nortel.
Thanks, Greg. Yeah, good afternoon. So we're all faced with these same economic times, and all the customers I've been talking to, and I'm sure you'd reflect the same thing, is we really want to look at ways of reducing costs, of improving our business effectiveness overall, and certainly a focus on, probably a very strong focus on how we're serving our customers, whether they're citizens or consumers or business customers. And so certainly that's the perspective we bring to this. We also define unified communications in a way that I think really resonates with customers, and this actually comes from a number of analysts that formed a UC strategies group, and we say the unified communications is communications integrated to optimize business process. And so whether we're talking about collaboration or enhancing how people can communicate or speeding up business process, then that's the real focus is on the business process and business application side of it. Of course, one of the dimensions of openness is the fact that Nortel very much is open for business, and you've heard us, we've been in the news a fair amount recently, and certainly our day-to-day operations, we're continuing our commitments, for example, for the 2010 Vancouver Olympics. We've exceeded our expectations on the Social Security Agency IP telephony network, which is like a $300 million contract over 10 years, and we're meeting those obligations as well. And we're continuing to innovate in our R&D environments. And in fact, we really sort of blow the socks off unified communications through this particular virtual reality capability that we've actually introduced. And Lenovo is our first public customer. What they have then is a different kind of storefront, which is it's based technically on Epic Games software, but it's a virtual reality environment. It's a virtual storefront, and so you could actually meet with your uncle from some other country, meet in this logical storefront, talk about a Lenovo computer that you want to buy, talk to the Lenovo representatives, and actually be able to close a deal in this environment. Demonstrations included, and so on. So this is really an exciting type of innovation, and it's a different type of collaboration, again, focusing in this case on the customer. The other four dimensions of openness in our unified communication strategy is around the openness of the desktop. I mean, the desktop today, in the context of email, calendaring, and so on, is 45% Microsoft in terms of email, Outlook, Exchange, and about 45% on a global basis, Lotus Notes from IBM. And so being able to work into those desktops is absolutely critical. So there's no such thing as a single vendor unified communication solution, really. One aspect of it is you've got to work into the desktop environments that you have. I've also shown the Nortel Multimedia Communication System, which is our own homebred unified solution for desktop environments, as well as Nortel SCS 500, which in fact is an open source base. It's based on CIPX open source software. So openness at the desktop is we see very critical. The other dimension, of course, if you're integrating into the applications, is they got to be open in terms of what kind of back office environments does the customer have. Could be based on WebSphere, could be based on .NET, could be based on Java and JBoss and so on. And so we interface into those different environments to allow you very relatively easy integration with those business processes. At the same time, you've got to integrate into whatever the data, voice, video infrastructure is that you have in place. Right? What video conferencing systems do you have? Desktop video systems do you have? What IP telephony systems do you have? And so on. And so one important proof point there is HSBC, who's actually implemented our unified communication solution. And there we're working into the Cisco Unified Communication Manager, into Tandberg for video, meeting and into Nortel as well, of course. And we're offering a multi-vendor hot desking capability for the very mobile executive workforce within HSBC. Of course, you want to have open unified communication applications as well, whether they're customer-facing, like the Lenovo example, or through our contact center working with Microsoft and others, or in fact dealing with the individual, group, and collaboration capabilities, as well as integrating those into the business process. And here I can give you an example of Orlando Regional Health that has actually accelerated their patient discharge process by some 4 hours through solutions from Nortel. So bottom line is that through these open unified communication capabilities at the desktop, with the back office, into the infrastructure, as well as with the applications, we can reduce your operation costs. We can certainly help you improve your customer service as well as your business efficiencies. Thank you.
We can credit that 15 seconds to someone else, perhaps. I don't know. So last up is Nick Matichuk, Vice President of Business Development and Strategic Alliances at Object World. And I remind you to have your questions ready for our panelists. Nick, please.
Great. Thank you, Greg. Good afternoon. Object World, not a household name, but we do share something in common with Nortel. We are in the same city. We're headquartered in Ottawa. We're a software company specializing in unified messaging, unified communications. And essentially what makes us different than everybody else is how we approach unified communications in respect to the world of convergence. We all know that voice and data has come together. VoIP has enabled that. But where we really differentiate ourselves is that 5 years ago, the company made a radical decision and a big bet that we felt that the way business communications was going to be delivered was going to radically change in the next 5 years. Move forward 5 years, that's today. We felt that the communications, or unified communications, was going to move away from being offered in the traditional telephony silo and move into the IT data silo. So we introduced the concept of IT telephony, and it's a standard-based, embedded with IP networking, takes advantage of your networking infrastructure, and offers all those things that unified messaging or unified communications deliver. We provide SIP telephony capabilities. One of the things that we really differentiate is that we use Active Directory as a single point of administration and management. So leverages the tools and the skill sets that you have in the IT world to manage your telephony systems today. Obviously, we provide UM and UC, auto attendant and call control, ODBC-enabled IVR, all those wonderful things that all my other colleagues can provide as well. Again, from a simplicity standpoint, all we are is a 100% software application that resides in the data center. End of story. There's nothing proprietary about our application at all. We leverage SIP endpoints. We don't care what the endpoints are. We don't care what the gateways are. We don't care who the manufacturer is. We auto-detect and auto-configure those capabilities. And again, all managed as a software application residing in your data center. Customers love it a lot. Sorry, you probably can't read that, but we've got school boards, for example, that just say that by using a single point of administration and management like Active Directory saves that school over $250,000 a year. That school board, I should say. All right, things like that are absolutely key. All right, again, our solution is delivered on a single CD. It allows IT to manage those communications centrally, all within the Microsoft ecosystem. We integrate into Microsoft OCS. We integrate into Exchange. We integrate into everything Microsoft. And again, we sit on a Microsoft platform, so we address that Microsoft market. Okay. Low cost, quick return. For as little as $75 a user, you can actually get full unified communications. Right? Almost unheard of in the industry today. Very quickly to deploy. Why? It's a software application. Right? You've got your IT managers, your people in the IT data center just taking a CD, loading it into a server, going yes, 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 we'll auto-provision, auto-detect, and auto-configure all the endpoints. It's that simple. So we can streamline that customer service, phone-based applications by providing outbound dialing, emergency notification services. We can really customize the solution to meet your requirements. Reduce the total cost of ownership, increase that ROI. The challenges that the industry faces today is how do you get more out of what you currently have? Rip and replace is not the answer. How do you integrate into your legacy infrastructure today to provide that value add? And that's where your hard dollars have to go today. It's what services can we add on top to leverage what we already have. Okay? A couple of examples of our user interface. Again, directly integrated into Exchange, into Lotus Notes, into GroupWise. Doesn't really matter to us. And again, the whole point here is that it's integrated into that Microsoft ecosystem. It uses things like Active Directory. So for the IT folks who might be in the audience today, they look at this screen and go, hey, I know that. That's Active Directory. But what they won't see is that tab over there called UC Server, which is the name of our product. And right inside Active Directory, they can manage everything there is about that telephony user. Right? If you delete somebody out of Active Directory, their their fax server, their console, their IVR, their fax server goes away. They come back, hit a check mark, it all comes back. A couple different user interfaces that you see on the screen right here. Just a top one, point and click, allows you to control who you communicate with, when, and on what device. So wherever you are, wherever you go, you should be able to communicate and be notified that people are trying to communicate with you. That bottom user interface I'm going to talk a little bit more about in some detail. It's what the industry calls CEBP, or Communications Enabled Business Process. What we deliver, and this is really unique, something really unique that we can deliver in the industry, is this IVR development environment that allows you to very quickly to create rapid applications. So again, this whole concept of convergence, I now have the ability to converge those back-end business processes that I have and automate those processes and bring that rich information that's available to the front end via your communications processes. And we build them just by dragging and drop these simple little elements out on the screen to build a call flow and access all that rich information. It's software, 100% software. There's no hardware as part of this equation. And there's nothing proprietary. It's all hardware agnostic. As I mentioned, we don't care what the endpoints are, we don't care what the gateways are. So in summary, we're SIP telephony, we provide UC, fax server, console, IVR, conference bridge, everything delivered on a single CD. All right? We're sitting on a Microsoft server, we integrate into Outlook, everything Microsoft. So this is a huge opportunity for the converged IT market. All right? The small and mid market's not being addressed by Microsoft or the incumbents. We address that market space. And obviously it's a huge advantage as the market disrupts. So we're in booth 511. Welcome to come by and see a demonstration of the product. Thanks very much and enjoy the show.
Thanks. So how about another round of applause for all of our speakers today? That was pretty good, right? 6 minutes each.